Hello, and welcome to Crack Sisters Conspiracies. We're a podcast that covers conspiracy theories, mysteries, and all over spooky shit. My name is Cassandra,
And I'm Jackie.
and we are said sisters.
We are six sisters.
We are so congested.
Oh my God, my nose has just been dripping all
Oh,
day.
yeah.
Lovely.
Um, Mine is just it's pressure, and
Mm.
then that goes away.
Uh,
And then it feels like I have a bowl over my head half the time.
oh,
And like I blew my nose on Saturday and I hadn't been blowing it because I
okay.
when it's like dripping, like it just makes it worse.
Yeah.
Anyway, I blew my nose and I swear to God I ruptured both of my eardrums and I
Oh
hear the
no.
loudest noise
I
and it was painful. But yeah.
also have this fun thing where I just keep throwing up.
Oh,
Whether
what the fuck?
I'm coughing so hard I throw up,
Oh.
or the post nasal drip just
Oh.
triggers me and I'm just like vomiting all the time. It's so fun.
I just cough and pee my pants. So,
Oh, okay.
that's what happens. Such is life.
hmm
Your little display thing behind you, that looks new.
Yeah, so we rearranged our desks and we shoved them together. So this two pieces, they used to be on either side of our desk, but
Oh,
because we got the new chairs for our anniversary, we needed to rearrange some shit. So yeah, I like it.
it looks nice. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the last time I saw you was what, a week and a half ago?
Yes. Feels like a year ago.
I know. Like that was a very eventful moment in time.
That it was.
We had just gotten back from Japan, which
hmm
was awesome, but I came
Yeah.
back with a Japanese illness and
Mm.
it's been 2 weeks. I got sick while I was there,
All those
and
Japanese businessmen you were having meetings with.
that's exactly what it was. And you yourself were starting to get sick, completely unrelated, while
Yes.
staying at my house and traversing California and into
Yes.
Arizona and back. So,
Yeah, so I was doing like a lot of driving. I drove to see mom and dad in Arizona. That was fun. I drive back, or I attempt to. Something falls off of my truck on the 10. No one can find me. I'm giving them like my coordinates because apparently you can do that through GPS. No one can find me. It takes like 3 hours. I finally get rescued. I have to get towed 200 miles and pay out of pocket. It was very expensive. And then that took like I had like 3 to 3.5 hours left on my drive. And that took 8.5 hours to get home. So I finally did. And then I called Alex and I said, "Hey, you need to come get me. We don't have a working truck anymore." And he's like, "Cool." And then 5 minutes into his drive, he calls me. He goes, "Oh, I totaled our other car because I hit a fucking cow." And thankfully he walked away okay because yeah, the truck was not okay and he killed the cow. So that was fun. So then I had to borrow Sam's husband, Danny, for a couple of days, which I don't think she was too thrilled about, but he managed to kind of get my truck working. I had to drive home. It was 6 hours, but it took eight because I was not able to go between the speed of 44 and 55 miles an hour. I could only go below 44 or I had to gun it and go above 55. And I don't know if you've ever had to do that on the freeway for 6 hours, but it's very difficult. And yeah.
I mean, I was a little concerned about your trip back home. And like I kept checking my phone. I'm like, well, if something happened, it was either going to happen like right as she left
Yeah, probably.
or I would have heard from you, period. And so by like 10:30 or 11, I still hadn't heard from you.
Mm.
And then I just remember telling Evan, I'm like, she's dead. She is dead. She's not there. She hasn't
Probably.
been online. Obviously, you haven't been online because you were driving.
I had to very closely monitor my fucking speed and I had to be in the slow lane. So you have people coming on. I literally made it to Yosemite. I had to get gas and I went, God, I don't want to do this. I was so tempted to just turn around and be like, we'll figure it out. But I really just wanted to get home. And not that I don't love hanging out with you. I needed to leave.
You
So
needed
it
to
was
be
fine.
gone by that point for
hmm
sure. But yeah, I was convinced that you had perished in your journey. So first thing in the morning, you had texted. It was like midnight. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my God. Okay.
I know. Everyone's like, can't text me when you get home. And I texted everyone and everyone's asleep. And I'm like, wow, this is very anticlimactic, guys. That's okay. I'm
but
glad I
I did
survived.
appreciate it. So,
Yes.
yeah. But anywho,
Did
sorry.
you not lock your door?
I didn't because Evan still has to come in and out, and he did. Um, oh, Grayson and I went and saw Wicked, the second one yesterday.
Oh, okay. Have you seen the first one?
I have. I'm not
Oh,
a big, first off, I'm not a big musical person to
yeah.
begin with.
Hmm.
I wasn't really interested in Wicked as a thing. Like there's that one song from the Broadway that everyone knows that
Uh-huh.
I like that song, but
Sure.
um I didn't care for the first movie, and so I
Okay.
really wasn't looking forward to the second one. But she is like very tween, and it's
Mm.
like the talk of town at school, and she didn't want to be left out. So
Okay.
took her, and it was the most excruciating 2+ hours of my life. Oh
Oh
my
no.
God. It was awful. I'm not a musical person, and the story is garbage. So sorry if you like it, but
I'm shocked the second one's already out. I feel like the first one just came out like 6 months ago. And maybe
I
it was a year,
know.
but that's a really short turnaround.
And like the whole time, Grayson was like kind of complaining about it. She's like, this is kind of dumb. Is it going to be over? When's it going to be over? How much time is left? Blah, blah, blah. And then at the end, I was like, so what'd you think? She's like, oh my God, it was so good. I'm like, "Pff, okay.
Okay.
Because it
Right.
tied in things with like the original Wizard of Oz. So she's like,
Oh,
oh, it makes sense to my young mind. So it's a
sure.
masterpiece, apparently. But
Okay.
anyway,
I
so
I watched a movie called Little Things. I don't think it's new. It was on
little
Netflix. It
things.
was with Jared Leto and Denzel Washington.
Oh, okay.
It's very good. I would highly recommend it. It's like a psychological thriller.
Oh, and I just finished All Her Fault finally.
Okay, I'm like 20 minutes in, man. But my goal is to I know I listened to an hour yesterday. I'm an hour in to the 16-hour audiobook because I didn't have time or the mental capacity. I had a whole plan. I didn't it didn't work out that way. So I was gonna
Okay.
listen to it on the way home, but
Okay, you'll get there.
I will.
Anywho. Okay, so for my topic this week,
Hmm.
I don't know what past me did to think of it, but I am
Okay.
very grateful for her because she set a reminder for future me
Uh-huh.
to be like, here's a topic idea. I cannot for the life of me remember what spurred it or made
Uh,
me want to write about it.
okay.
It's something that you might hear alluded to in pop culture every now and again, but it was an event that took place in the 1930s. So it's like very
Oh,
like kind of out there. I
okay.
feel like you didn't know what it was when I mentioned it.
No.
So yeah, I think that is like outside of your
Yeah,
wheelhouse.
I've heard of it, but I don't know what it's in reference to, or I couldn't tell you any detail.
Yes. So today we are going to be talking about the Lindbergh baby, or more specifically, the kidnapping of said baby.
Oh, so it's a real baby.
It was a real baby. It was a real thing that happened. It was like this
Oh.
big sensational story about, someone's kid getting kidnapped. So I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
okay, let's see what that was about. So we were going to travel back in time to the 1930s,
Okay.
really set the tone here. So Charles Lindbergh, I don't know if you've ever heard of his name other than just casually mentioned, but he
No.
was America's most eligible bachelor at that
Oh.
time. And he would go on to become best known in his life as an American aviator. So he flew planes.
Mhm.
He held a high rank in office in the military, and he was also an author.
Okay.
And so early in 1927,
Hmm.
what made him like really like famous and recognizable was that he had made the first nonstop flight from New York to Paris, which is
Oh.
approximately 3,600 miles, and he did it alone in his aircraft, which was called the Spirit of St. Louis.
Okay.
So I did not know that, one. And two, I had heard the phrase the Spirit of St. Louis before, but I thought it was just like the phrase for the state and not an actual plane. So
Oh, I've
actually,
never even heard that, but that's
I'm learning things as we go.
there you go.
But because he had made that journey and he made it alone, that's the big, caveat. He ended up setting a new flight distance world record for that trip because no
Oh,
one had previously attempted anything like that before. It was considered one of the most consequential flights in history, and it is where his initial claim to fame came from.
okay.
He served as a U.S. Army Air Service cadet and then eventually was promoted to colonel. And he earned a whole lot of medals and achievements throughout his military career. He was highly regarded.
Okay.
And he was just kind of a big deal in general because he inspired and helped to usher in a new era of transportation via aircraft throughout the globe. Like it was a big, like revolutionary thing, like big
Oh,
change
wow.
was coming, and he really led the charge there. So
Okay.
that's Charles Lindbergh. Now there's Anne Morrow Lindbergh, who is the wife of Charles, and she was equally as impressive in her own right. She ended up becoming the first woman to receive a U.S. glider pilot license. So,
Well,
breaking that glass ceiling. And her and her husband would take off on exploratory flights together, with her serving as the radio operator and co-pilot to Charles.
okay.
And so they were essentially the power couple of the skies in the
Oh,
1930s.
how nice.
Yes. So naturally, they decided to expand their family and welcomed their first child, Charles Augustus Lindbergh Jr.,
Hmm.
on June 22nd, which is mom's
Oh,
birthday,
yeah.
but not, she wasn't born in 1930. So
Sure.
we'll give her a few more years there. But that also happened to be Anne's 24th birthday.
Mm.
So quite a gift she gave herself there.
Oh, that sucks. You and your baby have the same birthday?
Yes.
No, I wouldn't like that.
No, I mean Evan and Grayson are 4 days apart, and he bemoans that he doesn't get a birthday anymore, apparently.
Yeah. That's
So
no
yeah,
fun.
having to share the day. Pff. So with the heightened sense of fame and attention surrounding them, it should come as no surprise that they soon faced misfortune because everyone has all of the bad things happen to them eventually, right?
Sure.
On the evening of March 1st, 1932, Charles and Anne had been enjoying the evening at home in their place in Hopewell, New Jersey.
Mm.
Also at home was their son, Charles Jr., who was just a few months shy of turning two. So he was 20 months old at the time.
Okay.
And their nursemaid, a woman named Betty Gow, was at the house as well. So I
Okay.
assume that's kind of like a nanny, like someone who
Yeah.
takes care of the kid, but she was referred to as a nursemaid.
Mm.
So
That's gross.
you're gonna have
Bless
so
you.
much coughing. You have
Your
to.
your camera keeps zooming in and zooming out, and I don't know why.
Oh, there was an auto frame feature on. That's weird.
Oh, okay.
That should stop now. Around 10 p.m. that evening, Betty had discovered that baby Charles was missing from his second story nursery.
Okay.
A ransom note containing both poor handwriting and grammar, demanding $50,000, which in today's dollars would be just shy of about 1.2 million. It was found on the windowsill in the nursery, and it read as follows.
Hmm.
Dear Sir, have $50,000 ready, 25,000 in $20 bills, 15,000 in $10 bills, and 10,000 in $5 bills. After 2 to 4 days, we will inform you where to deliver the money. We warn you for making anything public or for notify the police the child is in gut care. Indication for all letters are signature and three holes. Makes no sense and most of it's spelled wrong.
I
So
can
that's
tell. Okay.
that's what
Wow.
they're working with. The fact that they were able to like deduce that it was a ransom note was,
Right?
shocking.
Jeez. And that would be so many bills.
Yeah. Like
I
that's
want
a
like ten
lot.
thousand dollars in fives. That's a lot of bills.
That is, you know what? For shits and giggles, how much is that? Now we need
I
to
can't
know
do the
because
math.
I'm not in my head right now. I'm too tired. Are you kidding me? 50, that's a camera, not a calculator. Oh, please. Calculator. 15,000 divided by fives. That's $3,005 bills.
Jesus,
Just
that's a
in
lot.
fives. Anyway, okay, that was a little fun side quest. Okay, baby was stolen. The person who stole them is apparently the bottom of the barrel as far as education goes.
Okay.
At the bottom of the note were two interconnected blue circles surrounding a red circle with a hole punched through the red circle, and then two more holes to the left and to the right.
It's like a Venn diagram.
Essentially, yeah. So it was just like a notable like thing that was on there, and
Okay.
like a moniker, so to speak.
Okay.
It had been determined that the note was written by a single person, and
Mm.
given the odd English used, It was also determined that the writer was likely foreign to the
Hmm.
United States and not a local citizen.
Yeah.
So outside of the home, because again, the baby was on the second story of the home,
Uh-huh.
a three-section ladder had been discovered.
Mm.
So it was at this point they deduced that the Lindbergh baby had been kidnapped.
Oh no.
The police were called and soon they arrived, along with members of the media, and the Lindbergh estate was overrun with interest within a very short amount of time.
I'm sure.
The kidnapping had become a national sensation overnight, garnering the interest of the FBI, who had joined both the state and local authorities on the investigation.
Hmm.
And a fingerprint expert was brought in to examine the ransom note as well as the ladder that was found. But there was no usable evidence that was found. And a big contributing factor is because the police didn't lock down the.
Oh my God. They never fucking do. Of
No, between all the different police agents and the media and this and that, they just completely trampled the scene of the crime. And
course
so
they did.
nothing was usable,
Okay.
essentially.
Great.
Over the coming days and weeks, over a dozen additional ransom notes had been
Oh.
received by the Lindberghs, each of them increasing the pressure of the demands or changing the instructions altogether. News of the kidnapping had also drawn the attention of a man named Dr. John Condon, who was a retired New York principal who felt it was necessary to insert himself into the investigation and volunteered to become the designated mediator between the Lindberghs and the kidnappers, which is
Is
kind of
this
suspicious.
principal, is he foreign?
No, it does not
Okay.
appear so.
Okay.
That would be more of a connecting dot.
Yeah.
It's just some guy who, happened to be involved and just really wanted to be helpful.
That would be so fun for him, I'm sure.
I mean, you're retired. What else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Towards the end of March, Dr. Condon had made arrangements to meet with a mysterious figure that he referred to as Cemetery John in a Bronx cemetery. While he was there, he had made negotiations, and Charles Lindbergh ended up authorizing payment for the ransom. So it seems like he was doing an okay job at his
Sure.
voluntary position.
Okay.
On April 2nd, 1932, $50,000 in gold certificates were rendered to Cemetery John
Okay.
with the expectation that the baby Lindbergh would be returned.
Mm.
The use of gold certificates was intentional as they were about to be withdrawn from circulation altogether.
Oh,
So instead of using marked bills, they thought it would be easier to identify
sure.
people who were trying to redeem those because there's only going to be a limited amount in circulation after that
Oh,
point.
that's pretty smart. And probably they thought that the kidnapper was too dumb to like put two and two together.
Yeah, and so even though they didn't like mark the bills or anything, they still captured all of the serial
Yeah.
numbers
Oh, that's
of the
good.
gold certificate, so they at least had a log and could eventually tie it back.
Yeah, sure.
So the kidnappers at this point had alleged that the baby was still alive and in the care of two women, and not to worry, baby will be returned soon.
Hmm.
The hope that the Lindbergh baby would soon be returned was high. They're like, okay, we gave you the money. You said baby's alive. Where's my child?
Hmm.
Unfortunately for the Lindberghs,
No.
their hope was misplaced. Weeks had passed without further contact, and there was no sign of the missing child. On May 12th, so this is 72 days
Jesus.
since their child went missing, a delivery truck driver named Orville Wilson and his assistant William Allen had been traveling down a road about 4.5 miles south of the Lindbergh home.
Okay.
Having a need to pee, the drivers pulled over on the side of the road and went into a grove of trees that was just, in a ditch off yonder.
Uh-huh.
And it was there that William Allen discovered the decomposing body of a toddler.
Oh my God.
The skull had been badly fractured and the body had been picked apart by animals at this point, so it was
Oh,
kind of a gruesome discovery.
poor baby.
The nursemaid, the nanny, Betty Gow, she had been the one to actually come and identify the child
Oh, okay.
as the Lindbergh baby. And she was able to identify him by the overlapping position of his toes on his right foot. So the way that they crossed over.
Oh.
And then the body was also wearing a shirt that she had actually made for him. So
Oh my
she's like,
gosh.
"Yep, that's the kid that I took care of."
That's so sad.
I know. The cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head,
Hmm.
and it was at this point that the kidnapping investigation became a murder
Oh,
investigation. After some time had passed, investigators found themselves no closer to solving the case,
sure.
with the whodunit remaining at large. The investigation had no developments or even any evidence to act on, so the police turned their attention to the serial numbers of the gold certificates that they
Uh-huh.
used for the ransom payment and thought, maybe they'll find something there. So there was a pamphlet that was prepared with the noted serial numbers of all of those gold certificates, and 250,000 copies of it were distributed to businesses mainly within New York
Okay.
with the expectation that they might come across them in their transactions and report it.
Sure, yeah.
And so while some of the ransom bills did actually turn up in locations,
Hmm.
there were external locations like Chicago and Minneapolis, like that
Oh,
it had
okay.
traveled to. Whoever it was that was spending the bills had not been identified in those situations, especially when the farther away from New York that
Yeah.
they got.
Okay.
In May of 1933, by a presidential order, all gold certificates were to be exchanged for other bills.
Hmm.
And so just before the exchange deadline had arrived, a man brought in almost $3,000 worth of gold certificates to a Manhattan bank to be exchanged.
Okay.
It was later discovered that the bills were from the ransom that was paid,
Okay.
and his name was listed as J.J. Faulkner with an address on West 149th Street, even though no one with that name actually lived at that address.
Oh, okay.
So someone was coming to redeem them, but they were smart enough to at least not use their actual information, which is
Sure. Okay.
shocking at this point. Over the course of about 2.5 years, a
Jesus.
number of the ransom bills had been turning up throughout New York. More specifically, detectives determined that the bills were being spent along the Lexington Avenue subway route, which connected the Bronx to the east side of Manhattan. So, all along
Hmm.
this particular route, that's where at different locations the bills or the certificates were being redeemed or spent. And so
Okay.
they at least narrowed it down to like an area of
Sure.
activity.
All right.
So this was a few years now that's gone by. But in September of 1934, a bank teller in Manhattan noticed a gold certificate from the ransom that had a New York license plate number penciled into the bill's margin.
Hmm.
This then allowed the plate to be traced at a nearby gas station.
Okay.
And the gas station manager who received the bill, he had actually written down the license plate number on it because the customer was acting suspicious. And so he
Wow.
thought it might be a good idea to write it down because he thought like maybe he was a counterfeiter or something,
Sure.
not
Good for
knowing.
that guy.
Yeah,
He just solved a murder,
it pretty
potentially.
much. So yeah, the license plate ended up belonging to a car owned by a man named Bruno Richard Hauptmann. Hauptmann? I guess we'll go with that. Of 1279 East 222nd Street in the Bronx.
Mhm.
And he was an immigrant with a criminal record from
Oh.
Germany.
Oh,
I
German.
know. Hauptmann was shortly arrested and found to be carrying a single $20 gold certificate from the ransom on his person,
Wow.
with an additional $14,000 of the ransom certificates having been found in a suitcase in his
Oh,
garage.
Jesus.
When the police searched the rest of his house, actual or additional evidence linking him to the crime had been discovered, such as handwriting that
Okay.
matched the ransom note that was
Yep.
received. And also, they found a match to the lumber in his attic that was used to make the ladder that they found at the
Oh, okay.
house.
Yep.
On September 24th of 1934, Hauptmann was indicted for extorting 50,000 in ransom from Charles Lindbergh, and then he was later indicted for the murder of Charles Jr. 2 weeks later.
Okay.
He was convicted, actually, on February 13th in 1935 and was immediately sentenced to death.
Oh, nice.
He had made multiple attempts to try to appeal, but he was denied, and they ultimately executed him on April 3rd, 1936, by way of electric chair.
Okay.
So, a good deal of time after the whole ordeal, alternate theories to the
Mhm.
who and the why behind the Lindbergh kidnapping slash murder had started to crop up.
Yeah.
There were a few people and like making some noise saying, that maybe he wasn't the guy, maybe, he was innocent.
Sure.
So some suggested that Hauptmann was innocent and the evidence used against him in trial was either manipulated or it was just really weak and shouldn't have been used
Okay.
to convict at all. And so the arguments to support that theory were that there were no eyewitnesses that ever saw Hauptmann at the Lindbergh home. Additionally, in the 1930s, handwriting analysis wasn't as refined and, it's not what it is today. So, how can they truly believe that the two writing samples are one and the same when it's not considered as, decisive?
Okay.
And the wood matching analysis for the latter was also heavily criticized because apparently they don't think people would have been capable of like aligning the grains in, similar fashions that they would have done anyway. So they're just trying to poke holes in the theory by suggesting because it happened so long ago
But
that
those
like
are like the most insignificant parts. Like, did he ever explain why he had all of the fucking ransom money and that he was like a foreigner who probably just wanted money? Like, they're glossing over the giant red flag. It's
yes,
like, yeah, no one
essentially.
saw him kidnap the baby, so I don't think it's him.
Exactly. Like
That's
it's
really
more
stupid.
the theories that are what's weak and not the
Uh-huh.
evidence and the
Oh
very
my goodness gracious.
obvious, this was the guy who did it.
Okay.
But yeah, the evidence against him was overwhelmingly supportive of the fact
Yes.
that yes, he was the one who kidnapped and murdered the baby.
Oh my goodness.
Also adding to the fact was that he had a background in burglary while in Germany, and he also never implicated that anyone else had done the crime or had helped him.
Yeah.
So everything suggests that he was the guy.
He all but fucking confessed to it,
Yes.
basically.
Another alternate theory suggested that there was never a kidnapping and murder at
Mm.
all, and instead the Lindbergh baby died in a horrible accident at home, and then the family tried to cover it up by staging this elaborate um, kidnapping, murder. But they were like super private people. Like they were
Uh-huh.
celebrities and didn't enjoy being celebrities. And
Yeah.
so like the last thing that they wanted was a bunch of attention. So like why would they go to the trouble to fabricate this big
Yeah.
story and bring eyes on them if something they did happened?
Yeah, a little John Benet Ramsey
Yeah.
before its time.
Yeah, and like some reports have suggested that Charles Jr., the baby, had like suffered ailments like rickets and was like delayed developmentally. So they just tried to like create an accidental death scenario to get rid of him.
My God. So they
But
bashed him over the head?
right, there is zero historical evidence that supports
Yeah.
anything relating to that theory.
My
So
goodness.
there's nothing that suggests it was an accident or stage.
Hmm.
There's a couple of other like really weak or loosely defined theories that try to,
Hmm.
suggest something else happened in another way, but it all comes back to Hauptmann, the
Yeah.
criminal burglar who fashioned a ladder and tried to steal a baby for money and ended up killing it.
Oh my God. What was I gonna say? Oh, that's why you never, if you're in a ransom situation, you never give money without like proof of life or like
No,
confirmed, like, hey, we're gonna meet and like exchange the fucking person for the money, right? Like, that's where the principal or whatever the fuck it was, that's where he failed a little bit. He should have kind of left that to the professionals, I think.
yeah, no, he, was patting himself on the back and he was too busy with arranging that.
Yes.
It really just made the situation much worse at that point.
100%. Oh my goodness.
Well, and it was theorized that like the baby was killed within like the first night.
I would
So,
assume, honestly,
especially since it was
they
found
would
so
have
close to
no,
home.
yeah,
Yeah.
they would have no reason to keep it if you want
No.
money. So yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, paying up that ransom, that's what did him in.
I
But
mean, it wouldn't have helped. I think the baby was dead anyway. But yeah, you could have kept your money, I guess.
that's one of the reasons like being a celebrity would suck or like being some
Yeah.
prominent figure. I would be so scared of, someone trying to kidnap my baby.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
you.
Or I guess me. Yeah. No one wants this. Come on. Listen to me.
Oh my. On a good day, sure they do.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. But yeah, that's the story of the Lindbergh baby. It was really
Wow, that's
sad,
interesting.
but I
A
can
little
see why,
sad.
yeah, I can see why it was a big deal back in the day because like that
Yeah.
was the happening in the world. What do you have any idea for your next topic?
I do. I think I'm gonna cover Sylvia Brown. She's a psychic, or was.
That name sounds really familiar.
I keep seeing all these videos and I'm very entertained and intrigued by her. So I think that's who I'm gonna cover.
Okay, there you go. Look
Yeah.
forward to that. Psychics and stuff like that are a whole other breed.
Yes, they are.
All right. Well, we are always looking for topic suggestions. It's going on, what, 3 years that we've been
Yeah.
at this, and I mean the pickings are slim. I've been scraping the bottom of the barrel since the end of season one. So
Yeah, I say since
I'm always
basically the
looking for new
beginning.
suggestions. You can feel free to reach out to us on our various social media platforms. We have pretty much all of them. You can send us a
Mhm.
good old-fashioned email, cracksistersconspiracies@gmail.com. But with that, I'm going to say stay cracked, y'all.
And have a great day.